Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Terry B coming back at you with another TTM Tuesday video. Appreciate all the folks that have gotten into the 50 card giveaway or 50 sub giveaway. I will chat with everybody about that toward the end of this video. But I've got a couple TTMs I thought I'd go through with everybody. So if you're new to the channel, I am a TTMer. I'm not a breaker. So you'll definitely see me around in different group breaks and whatnot. For those of you that have subscribed recently and this is your first video of an actual TTM, I appreciate you being here. So that said, let's get rolling. So good mix of stuff back. We'll start out with a 101-day return. We'll take a look here. And we've got a Hall of Fame return. Don Sutton is our first return. So I usually try to call out if these guys charge to sign or not. So Don Sutton does charge. He's $5 for an auto, which for Hall of Famers, pretty darn good. A lot of folks already know a lot about Don Sutton, but just to give some info, let's see here. Career stats: of WAR of 66.7, 324 wins, 256 losses, and ERA at 3.26, 774 games, 756 of them starts with 5 saves, over 5,000 innings pitched, over 3,500 strikeouts, and a whip of an amazing 1.142. So as far as teams history from Mr. Sutton, started in 66 with the Dodgers all the way through 1980, 81 with Houston, 82 with Houston. Looks like the trade there in 82 to Milwaukee. Couple years there, Oakland in 85, and the Angels in 85 to 88 before he wrapped up his career over 23 years. So Don Sutton is our first return. Next up was a pretty quick return. I remember what this card is. So this was like less than 10 days. I sent a bunch of stuff out to spring training before the current worldwide pandemic has happened. So I only got one return from spring training, and it was this one. So if you're new to the channel, I'm an Orioles fan. So I sent a bunch of stuff out to spring training, and I got back a Hanser Alberto auto. So a little bit about Hanser. Let's see. Major League debut, May 29th, 2015. Only been in the majors. Only got 4 years worth of stats, so I can give you the career stuff, but it's not huge. WAR 2.4, 706 at bats, 195 hits, 12 homers, a batting average of 276. Definitely a career year with the Orioles last year with a WAR 2.9, 524 at bats. So, I mean, had a sample size of less than 200 before last season. 160 hits, all 12 homers of his career, and a batting average of 305. So definitely hoping once the season begins this year, he can repeat some production. Broke in, that's 2020 spring training stats. That's not what I want. That's all I'm going to get at the moment. So yeah, Hanser Alberto is my first real active player spring training TTM. So hoping that once things get restarted, spring training resumes, even though it might be more like summer training, kind of. Hope to see a few more of these back as guys get back into the clubhouse in spring training. Next up is a 44-day return. And this was my first experience with Pass Pros. If anybody's not familiar, passpros.com is a site where you can get former players to sign that don't necessarily have an address posted or how to get in touch with them. So they do charge a fee. So I know who this is. And the one thing I wanted to point out, not an issue with Pass Pros, is that they were great. I did have to follow up a couple of times to get them to see if they could get this signed for me. When I got it back, you can kind of see some creasing, like this might have gotten wet at some point. Either way, we'll open it up. Yeah, you can even see some bleed on the index cards here. There's a little bit of damage to the card, but not too bad. I've gotten worse back from the Postal Service. A bit of a crease down here in the bottom. But Mike Devereaux. So back in the game breaks has kind of challenged me to come up with a TTM from somebody that he remembers from his early Orioles fandom. So I believe I've met that challenge now, BITG, with a Mike Devereaux. So to talk a little bit about Mike, and by the way, I think the Pass Pros, this was like $8 or $9. It wasn't much. Some folks were able to get him last year when he was coaching in the minors, but I was not able to. So originally drafted by the Indians in the 26th round of the 84 draft, and then subsequently drafted by the Dodgers in the 5th round in 85 out of Arizona State. Career stats: WAR 14.6, 3,700 plus at bats, not quite 1,000 hits, 105 homers, and a batting average of 2.54. So let's see. We've got teams: the Dodgers in 87-88, the Orioles 89-94, 95 with the White Sox and the Braves, back to the Orioles in 96, the Rangers in 97, and finally the Dodgers in 98 to end his 12-year Major League Baseball career. So, Mike Devereaux. Next up is a pretty quick 8-day return. And again, while challenged by BITG to find those kind of early to mid-90s Orioles, I present him with a Rick Krivda auto. So definitely one of the lesser name folks on that 94 staff. But I believe Krivda was $5 to sign as well. Some stats: drafted by the Orioles in the 23rd round of 91 out of California University of Pennsylvania, McKeesport High School, McKeesport, PA, which is semi-local, at least for me. Career stats: a WAR of 0.4, 11 wins, 16 losses, an ERA of over 5.5, 72 games, 36 starts, 258 innings pitched, 165 strikeouts, a WHIP of 1.6. With the Orioles, 95 through 97, 98 with Cleveland, and finally finished his career. He had a couple of games with the Cincinnati Reds. So Rick Krivda, a really cool signature. Next up is a 9-day return. Get back the index card and the letter that I sent. Let me just pull this out for a second to make sure there's nothing written in here. Sometimes they just send the letter back, which is fine. Yep, nothing on the letter. But the auto is another Orioles star, Don Buford. Really cool auto. I think this is one of the oldest ones I've got back, so 73 tops. I think I got this in a break. I have no idea who the breaker was, but so Don Buford was also $5 to sign. So some stats: career WAR 36.2, over 4,500 at bats, 1,200 plus hits, 93 homers, batting average of 264, 200 stolen bases. Broke into the majors with the White Sox in 63 all the way through 67. The Orioles 68 through 72. I believe. Yeah, one-time All-Star, and in the 1970s World Series as well. He also later came back to coach the minor league team where I'm originally from as well. So I can't quite say I remember seeing Don Buford coach, but I may have. Just so long ago, it's a possibility. But pretty cool autograph on a 73 tops. So Don Buford was returned. I've got one left, and this one's actually pretty thick. I opened it just to see what was in here. I have not done anything else with it, so let's see what we got. And I did not write the number of days it took to return, so let's see what's in here. I can definitely see some handwriting on the bottom of the letter, which is pretty cool because that is not my handwriting. Let's see what we got. So I sent out, as part of that Memorial Stadium all-time Orioles collection, this was one of the ones I sent for Danny Boone. You can see the auto, added a Bible verse there, and I'm going to stop because these have their Orioles stat lines. So kind of obscure. 4 games, no wins, no losses, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, ERA of 2.79 in his Orioles tenure. Overall in the majors, 61 games, 2-1, 57 strikeouts, 31 walks, ERA of 3.38. Then you can kind of see that all-time Orioles 1954 to 1991. I cannot talk today. So this is the card that I sent Mr. Boone. And then he also sent, so he signed the index card with his major league teams here. So you can see Dan Boone, Padres 81-82, Astros in 82, and the Orioles in 1990. So that's pretty cool. And then he added a Rochester Red Wings minor league card. And actually, they were the 1990, Rochester's the 1990 Independent League, or International League champions. I'm not sure where my head is today. Of course, the same scripture. So I'm not a religious guy, but I always do kind of like to look these up just to see what the verses are. So Dan Boone. And there was some handwriting here in the letter. I'll share that with everybody. So I'll read this pretty quick. Thanks, Terry, for your great letter. I became aware of Hagerstown and Frederick when I was in the Rochester Red Wings. I had my best minor league season in Rochester and enjoyed the last 3 weeks of the season with the Orioles. God bless you and your family, Dan Boone. There's that scripture verse. So it's really awesome. I do tend to mention that I am from the kind of the Hagerstown, Frederick area. So as I kind of reach out to a lot of these older Orioles players, some of that resonates as they've come up through with the minor leagues. So Dan obviously did not play in Hagerstown or Frederick, played in Rochester, but obviously as part of the organization at AAA at that point in time, he was familiar with the guys that were coming up through. So pretty cool. It's actually the first I've had anybody respond back in writing to the letters or any of the questions that I've asked. So Dan Boone is the last TTM. So that gets through what I wanted to show. Want to hit two things real quick, and then I'm going to call this a video because I'm at 12 minutes now. So I was doing a break of 89 Fleer, still looking for that Billy Ripken Obscenity or the whiteout card. I've got the black box, was able to pull that today as well as with another breaker, but that was pretty cool. So just real quick on the 89 Fleer, what I thought was cool was picked up two of the Gary Sheffield rookies, the Nolan Ryan, and as I had mentioned, finally pulled the black box Ripken myself, but that's not the coolest thing. So notice out of a whole box, there is no Ken Griffey Jr., there is no Randy Johnson, as I'm hunting those as well. However, my last pack, and I have yet to open it, as I'm debating sending it, had that on the top. So last pack in the box, sealed Griffey in a cello. So just thought that was pretty cool one to share. I've never seen a Griffey, Randy Johnson, anybody like that on top of one of those packs. So that said, a lot of folks saw the last video for the 50 subscriber giveaway. So just a reminder, that video is up until this Friday. I'm going to probably go live late Friday night, go live and sort out through the comments, through random, and pick the number one, or the most, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to pick a random comment from that video. Sorry, guys. It's been a long day, long week, as I'm sure it has for everybody. But if you still want to get into that video, there's so you have a chance to win one of 3 cards. I'm going to pick one winner. I'm going to drop all 3 of the last names of players in random. I'm going to let the winner pick the number of times I'm going to randomize it. The player's name that comes out on top wins. All I ask is that you make sure you're subbed to the channel if you haven't already, and comment on the giveaway video. If you comment on this one, that's not going to count, so make sure you find the 50 sub giveaway video and drop your comment there. Whoever wins, I'll reach out via email, get the number of times that they want me to randomize. Then I'll go live, probably try to work out a time with that person so they can see what's going on. So here's the deal. There's a chance to win an on-card auto, number 299 of Panini Prime Cuts, Paul Molitor, Hall of Famer. We've got a Dennis Eckersley Relic Auto, which is also numbered 119 of 149. So the highest number in here card-wise is this card at 149. And there's also, to throw somebody new in there, I've got an Immaculate of Kevin Kramer, 17 out of 25. Bat Relic, Jersey Relic, there's the auto. So all Panini products, which was weird, but that's just the way it worked out. So again, if you want to get into the giveaway video, find the last video that I did for the 50 sub giveaway. There's also an Inception break in there, so it's not a super long video. I was just showing off Inception for those that hadn't seen it yet. So remember, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video, and look for me to go live at some point Friday to determine the winner. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a great day. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Take care, everybody. Bye.